Today we're heading to Standard to see if we can get some wins with Monument of Perfection by turning it into the biggest toxic creature in the entire format. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. And last week, we had another Phyrexia Standard Against Odds Bowl, and it was Monument to Perfection, taking home a super easy win. It crushed the rest of the field. So today, we're heading to Standard to see if we can turn Monument into a 9/9 Toxic 9 Indestructible Artifact creature by getting a ridiculous amount of spheres and basics on the battlefield. So let's talk about the deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see if we can pull it off. So we start with our winning card, which I gotta say, before we talk about the actual power level of the card, the art is pretty epic. One of my favorite pieces of art from the set. But the card itself, it's a 2-mana artifact. We can pay 3, search our library for a sphere or basic, or I guess locust land, although there's not locusts in standard, put it into our hand. So it's Journeyer's Kite that gets spheres essentially. And then the big payoff, we can pay 3, turn it into a 9/9 Phyrexian Construct artifact creature that gains indestructible in Toxic 9, but we can only do this if there are 9 or more lands with different names among spheres and basics and locusts on the battlefield. So essentially, we need to get a ton of very specific lands on the battlefield, and our reward is a 9/9 indestructible that can almost one-shot opponents. I actually wish it was Toxic 10. Like, with the amount of work we got to put into this, I feel like it would be okay as a one-shot kill, but essentially it's a 2-shot kill at this point. So how do we actually go about trying to win the game with Monument? Well, first off, our mana base, we have, I believe, every single sphere legal and standard, along with one of each basic land, a few more of forest, since that's our big ramp color defined lands. So we have a ton of different lands that can help us get to the 9 we need to turn on Monument to Perfection. Mostly these lands are just fixing our mana and turning on Monument, although Mycosynth Gardens is actually kind of sweet. It can turn into a copy of Monument of Perfection, so 2 monuments better than 1, or if our opponent tries to kill our first monument, we can make another copy with Mycosynth Gardens. So that is step number 1. Play a ton of lands with different names that meet Monument's requirement. Then we have a ton of ways to get these lands on the battlefield. Obviously, even though Standard's pretty slow and grindy, we're not just going to be able to make 9 land drops, and probably even more than that, because we do have some duplicate lands, but we're not just going to be able to naturally make land drops and turn on Monument. So we have a bunch of different ways to get more lands on the battlefield. Azusa has Many Journeys, gives us an extra land drop. Topiary Stomper grabs us a basic. Cartographer's Survey expands the spheres in Titania's command. Really powerful, because they can put 2 non-basics into play. So this is the way we can snag like 2 spheres to up our sphere count, get closer to Monument to Perfection. So hopefully with all this ramp, we're going to be able to turn on Monument pretty quickly. And then we also have Atraxa. I didn't set out to be an Atraxa deck, but after I built the deck, I was like, oh, we could really use some card draw. And then I realized, well, we're already in all 5 colors. We already got all these ramp spells. It's probably malpractice not to put Atraxa in this deck. Hopefully we don't win with Atraxa. That's not the goal. Atraxa is hopefully going to come down and refill our hand, find us monuments, find us lands, find us ramp spells, and then most likely just die to a removal spell, and then we win with Monument to Perfection. At least that's the idea. The rest of the deck, we got a ton of removal. It's going to take us a while to turn on Monument, so we need a bunch of sweepers and removal to stay alive. Worth noting, Depopulate and Burn Down the House, especially sweet with Monument. One of the issues with Monument is we go through all this work to turn it into a 9/9 indestructible artifact creature with Toxic 9, but that creature doesn't have evasion, so our opponent can theoretically chump us forever with soldier tokens, wedding announcement tokens, whatever random dorky creatures they have in their deck. So the idea here with Depopulate and Burn Down the House is if we actually get to the point of turning Monument into a creature, we can cast one of these Wraths. Since Monument is indestructible, it's not going to die. We get rid of all of our opponent's blockers, and then we hit them and give them 9 poison counters, which I really wish was 10, but still pretty close. But it clears the blockers out of the way, and maybe we can get multiple monuments on the battlefield and win with 1 double monument attack. So that's the plan of the deck. As far as the sideboard, bunch of discard encounters for control, some more card draw, a bunch of removal and sweepers for aggro, and that is Monument to Perfection for Phyrexia will be 1 standard, and that's our Against the Odds deck for this week. So let's jump into some games and see, is Monument as janky as it looks? I'm a little worried about Monument itself. Like, I think we can get to the point of turning Monument on. We got enough ramp to do it. The question's going to be, is Monument enough to win the game? Is it still just going to get exiled or edicted away? Is it going to get chump blocked forever? Can we actually get the Monument to Perfection win? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some Phyrexian will be one cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Against the odds time, we are playing some Monument of Perfection in Standard, and this hand is a little awkward. Oh no, mono red. Well, this hand's triply awkward against mono red. Jeez. All right, well, land go. Yeah, not good, not good. And Reinforced Rodent and Rabbit Battery gets and hits us down to 15. Green Source, no. Oh God. Well, this one's not working out. We ran into the one person who believes in aggro still. The one person in Magic. Oh boy. Fair enough. Fair enough. On to game 2. That was awkward. So, bring in the Abrades. Why is that flashing? I'm so confused. Running like that. So if we can stabilize, we have unbeatable cards. The question is, can we stay alive long enough? Like, our opponent is not going to beat Titania's Command. They're not going to beat Atraxa. They're not going to be able to stop a Monument if we can turn it into a creature. Can we hit a reasonable amount of land drops? Well, I mean, we'll try. So it's better than the last one. It's better than slightly, very slightly, but it is slightly better than the last hand. Hunter's Mage, go, opponent. Rabbit Battery. Hunter's Maze, go. We need to draw land of another color. Opponent, Mountain. Patchy. That's not the land we were looking for. We might actually need the fixing of this Murex at some point. So, well, Forest. Topiary Stomper. Mountain? Yeah, I think we Mountain. This sets us up to burn down the house next turn if we need to. And Reinforced Ronin, grows Patchy. Eater of Virtue. Equip. Sorry, so opponent's gonna get in a big attack. We drop to 10. And there's, oh, that goes back to hand is actually super bad for us. Yeah, I think we're pretty dead, awkwardly. Wow. Well, I mean, does this have trample? No. Oddly, I think Devils are actually better here. I think Devils are better than Sweeping because they can chump for a while and snipe things down. And then we can deal with this Patchwork with the Leyline Binding maybe, or eventually we will draw lands of other colors to let us cast our black removal. This Unleash the Inferno would be great. About it. Going to equip. And strangles a token. Goes to combat attacks. Well, we will chump. I guess we are on a bit of a clock to draw our mana here. A ramp spell would be pretty good. We need fixing. We need fixing. Oh my God, that is the opposite of what we need. The opposite. Yeah, pass the turn. Yeah, we might just be dead now. Because we still can't block with this Topiary Stomper. So if they kill the Devil, we're just dead? Yeah, fair enough. Ouch. Against the odds time, we are trying to perfect some opponents here. Monument of Perfection, and this hand, we do have Stomper. We got a Monument. Yeah, I guess we just put a Zeus's Many Journeys to the bottom. Ooh, opponent, some Boros action, eh? Mardu, that makes sense. Yeah, Mycosynth Gardens, Monument, go. Could use a green source. This might actually be a pretty fast Monument / Atraxa hand if nothing goes wrong. Fable of the Miabrega. Well, pass the turn. So we can get a land with Monument, and then we have a ton of ramp spells. Opponent discards some lands in removal. I mean, not happy about this Fable getting to go off, but cannot do much about that. Gets in, makes a treasure. Hopefully they don't have anything too big and scary yet. Blood Tithe Havesta, okay. We're gonna need to find a Wrath, I think. Oh, are they gonna kill the Monument? Yeah, all right, well, that's awkward. Right of a, or Monument. I think just a Forest. Then we get another Forest. Well, play the Forest. Cartographer's Survey. Double Triome. Opponent gets to attack. Oh, where's our removal? Opponent. Wedding announcement. We could use a farewell. That would be sweet. Oh, we can't Atraxa, can we? Topiary Stomper. Oh, we really need to top deck a land like now. Swamp. Play a forest, expand the sphere. Yeah, Rite of Oblivion is gonna be good against us. Draw Spits, Mirrex. Pass the turn. I mean, I expect we're just dead though. Opponent gets to untap with Reflection. Go for the throw. Blood Tithe Harvester. I mean, I think it's literally Wrath or Bust. Opponent attacks, treasure, hits us. Doing Rakdos things. Gets a bunch of trigger. Come on, Wrath. Come on, Wrath. Come on, Leyline Binding. Colorless, colorless, colorless. Or blue, black. It can't work. We need Atraxa, but we know they can kill Atraxa. We can't hit a sweeper. Yeah. Let's draw a sweeper this game. we have 4 in our main deck, so we have a bunch. We just didn't find them. Didn't find them in time. Yeah. Zeus has many journeys. I think it's worse if we're on the play. Let's try it like that. Oh, maybe another turn. Rite of Oblivion's gonna be an issue. One of the things about Monument, it is destroyable before it turns into a creature, and then even after it's a creature, it's just indestructible. So Wandering Emperors, Rites of Oblivion, Leyline Bindings, there's still a decent amount of answers that some decks have. And Rite of Oblivion's one of the, it's like 2. How do we ever get around that? War on the play for game number 2. Fable of Mirror Breaker is a messed up card. We will play first. We will, we have the Wrath too, but this hand's horrible. Mulligan. How does our 26 land deck getting 1-landers constantly? Go for the, we're going on the sweeper plan. Go for the throat to the bottom. Please don't duress us. We really need to not be duressed. Okay, land and Monument of Perfection. I mean, we got a game plan. Opponent, land, and Pilfers are Atraxa, I assume. I don't know, maybe they take Burn Down the House. Yep. Well, Bankbuster and tap land. Well, let's see if we can get to Atraxa before we die. Lore into the third path. Gonna blow up the, wow, so much hate. So much hate. Well, play the tap land, pass the turn. Up to 4, almost halfway. We got 5 in hand. We really need this Atraxa to not get pilfered. And we would still like to draw a Wrath. Let's take white. All right, opponent, Blood Tithe Harvester. Rite of Oblivion. No fun for anyone. All right, Cartographer's Survey is not bad. Hopefully that gets us to Atraxa next turn. Dross Pit Eyelid. I mean, this is a huge turn. If our opponent has another Thoughtseize here, we get so wrecked. Otherwise, Atraxa should be a draw 5 at least. Opponent needs a Pilfer. Archangel of Wrath. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't straight up kill us. Opponent goes attacking. Yeah, I think it's Atraxa time. Farewell. Mycosynth Gardens. Atraxa Leyline Binding. Only a draw 4. Not the worst though. All right, play the Plains. Opponent, everybody draws. I mean, we do have a sweeper for next turn. We're gonna be low on life though. Opponent. And even more Rite of Oblivions. Yeah, this puts us low enough that our opponent might be able to just get us with Archangel of Wrath. So we need to Wrath, which I guess has to be Farewell? Yeah, we're gonna lose to an Angel, aren't we? Mycosynth Gardens. Burn down the house, 5 damage. Everybody draws. I mean, so if we can survive this turn, we get to gain a bunch of life with the Titania's Command. We just really need to fade this one turn of not getting burnt out. Draws the perfect card. I'm pretty sure our opponent just straight up loses if they don't top deck the Archangel there, because we get to gain 7. And after we gain 7, I don't think they have any shot of winning, but opponent, they hit it. They hit it at the right time. Ouch. against odds time. We are trying to get the Monument of Perfection win in Standard, and let's see how this goes. Wow, it's an Atraxa heavy hand. I think we actually just mulligan that. Well, this is actually sort of better. Better assuming that we actually get lands. Yeah, let's put Burn Down the House to the bottom. Well, land into land, please. Forest, go. Opponent, Haunted Ridge. So Rakdos, Grixis. If we hit our lands, we have double Ram Spell and Atraxa. That could be a thing. All right, turn 2 nap time. All right. Grixis, it's a Shivan Reef. Well, that's another land, Mountain Go. Well, let's see if we resolve our stuff. If we resolve our stuff, Atraxa can find this monument, and then we go from there. All right, land and passes. Well, yeah, let's play a land, run out monument. Wow. Snap resolve. Maybe our opponent does not have a counter. Fable of the Meowbreaker. Sure, well, let's do some ramping. Forest. Cartographer's Survey. Well, okay, 2 lands. We will take it. Blue and red. We're still a little bit away from Atraxa, although Monument fixes our colors pretty well. Let's see if we die to Fable the Mirror Breaker. Opponent loots away 2 lands. Haunted Ridge gets and hits us. Manually tapping. Invoke? They don't need to manually tap for Invoke, do they? 6 mana. Oh. Well. I guess we discard 2 cards. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can Monument for a land and then expand the sphere. Oh, now we're taking a huge hit. We can't really, I mean, I guess we could get a land and then try to cast Unleash the Inferno. This is hopefully fine. Play the swamp, expand the sphere. All right, land and land. I mean, this, so we're up to 6 for Monument. We get to Atraxa next turn. We're gonna be low on life though. We might just be too slow. Opponent gets in, hits us. Yeah, maybe we should just kill the Blade Coil. That might have been, oh no. Oh no, down to 5. Invoke Despair is so brutal. Might have been too greedy not to kill the Blade Coil. Well, boom, Atraxa. Say you're our only hope. The problem is our opponent's gotta have removal. They have a million cards. I mean, we get to draw a bunch. Actually, I guess we get a 4. I don't think it really matters what we take, but Azusa's Many Journeys. Topiary Stomper, Monument number 2. So we draw the cards. So we can play a forest, we can play the Topiary Stomper. Dead to removal. Yeah, 9 lands with different names is just such a, it's a big number. It's a big number on Monument. Not that easy to get to. Well, okay, land number 7. Technically we could turn on a Monument next turn, but yeah. All right, go for the throw. I don't think there's gonna be a next turn. Sideboarding, Grixis. Disdainful Stroke seems good. Card draw seems good. Negates seem decent, and then I guess we just trim back on some of the ramp. I could see the Farewell being reasonable. Yeah, I think that's our best bet. Trim and Atraxa. As we saw there, Atraxa, not necessarily good enough, just because our opponent has a lot of removal. Like, if that's our only line of defense, not necessarily gonna save us. On to game 2. Can we get a few more lands into play for the Monument? We were kind of close that game. Close-ish. Well, we'll play first. Sand's not bad, actually. Need a black source at some point for Unleash, but do a little ramping with Azusa's Many Journeys. Hopefully find a monument or something. How does the fox stand on water? Is it in the water? That foot is definitely not in the water. Or definitely not out of the water. It's like standing on the water somehow. The back leg, that looks like it's in the water. I don't know what's going on with the fox. All right, out of the water. Sparus Headquarters. Go. Takes a removal spell of some kind. I mean, maybe they take Azusa's Many Journeys. That would slow us down, although it's not like we have anything great to ramp into at the moment. All right, takes Unleash. Topiary Stomper is actually decent here. All right, Azusa's Many Journeys, extra land. This will get us to Stomper next turn. Well, now we just need to get some card draw, get a monument going, something big. Opponent with the tap land. Well, all right, gain a bit of life, do a bit of stomping. Swamp, play doesn't really matter. Do we have a Fable of the Mirror Breaker? Regular Bank Buster would be really nice. Or Monument, either one would be pretty good here. All right, opponent thinks and passes. Disdainful Strokes a card that we don't mind having in this matchup. Between Invoke Despair, we saw Blade Coil, there's Shieldrids. All right, opponent's gonna go for the throat, the Flip Saga. Interesting. I mean, I guess Stomper can't attack yet, but we're only one land away. Ooh, Titania's Command. I think pass. Really don't want to get it countered. All right, opponent's just gonna kill everything. That makes sense. Opponent, Corpse Appraiser. Be nice if we could resolve Titania's Command. Really want to leave up this Disdainful Stroke though. Opponent mills a couple lands, plays a land, and passes. Pass the turn. I don't want to go shields down and get invoked. Opponent. And passes. Ooh, all right, there's a monument. Opponent lets it go. Well, let's snag a land. This is good. This is going to get us to the point where we can Titania's Command and leave up a counter, which I think is kind of where we want to be at. If we can actually resolve the Titania's... Oh, all right. Monument down. Yeah, there are answers. Opponent, Invoke Despair. Well, please, no negate. Come on. We got the Disdainful Stroke, but our opponent waited until they left mana up, so I'm a little worried about this resolving. Make disappear. Yeah, so opponent draws 3. That's bad news. I mean, we are clear to resolve the Titania's Command, which is good, although we lost the monument, so less good. We did all that waiting to leave up the counter, and it didn't end up mattering in the end. Get some lands, get some bears. Gardens, I guess Surgical Bay. I guess it really, as long as it's a land we don't already have, it doesn't matter much at this point. All right. Opponent, Blood Tithe Harvester. And Fable the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, I think we're gonna negate that. Grixis just has so many good cards. It's pretty good at overloading your counter spells. Oh no, is this an... Oh no. Oh no. Our counters did nothing. Opponent resolves a Fable with a negate and passes monument. Okay, there's a monument. There's a monument. Is it too late? Is it too late to matter? I mean, this is big. Monument of Perfection. 7 lands. We get to tutor up land number 8. That means we're a land away next turn, and we do have the gardens to potentially copy it at some point. I guess it really doesn't matter. Mirrex, if Mirrex could block, it would be good here. Yeah. All right, grab another sphere, pass the turn. Opponent gets to do some looting, because Fable the Mirror Breaker is really good. 2 lands. Always heartbreaking. You're like, okay, maybe it won't be that bad. And then your opponent discards 2 lands, and you're like, wow, that Fable, like, gives you the 2/2. That's probably gonna make treasures, and it let you discard 2 useless lands to draw something that's better than 2 useless lands. Like, hard to get worse from there. Opponent gets in with both. We'd really like to just draw a unique land so we don't have to tap Monument and we can use it as a... Come on now. Okay, so there goes our Monument. Opponent has a Braid. We get to copy it. The problem is now we're back down to 7 lands because we had to spend 1 to copy Monument. So now we need 2 more lands to turn on Monument. Another Fable. Not looking good. Not looking good. Well, let's see what we draw. How about a Farewell? Hunter's Maze. We already have one of those. So I think we actually... Yeah, we can sack a Maze since we have another one. Draw a card. Topiary Stamper's not the worst. That's actually pretty good. Down to 6 lands. Somehow we're at 9, almost to 9 lands, and now we're back down to 6. Stomper, that gives us a blocker at least. Grab a Plains, back up to 7 lands. Hunter's Maze, back up to 8 lands. And then we can Monument for 9. So we get Monument next turn, if there is a next turn. About it. All right, the Blood discards a land, draws a card. No, that better not be in a Braid. I saw hovering on the Monument. Oh no. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I guess we gotta deal with something here. We're gonna be too close to dead. Opponent is out of cards. We officially ran our opponent out of cards. Opponent, go for the throat, kills the Stomper. We will Leyline Binding. Come on, Monument. Opponent gets to flip the Fables. That is still happening. Those, like, 3 lands that our opponent, oh no, and a Bank Buster. The like 3 lands that our opponent looted away throughout the game with Fables, it's really ridiculous how good that is. Like those are 3 dead draws that turned into live draws. Opponent draws with Bank Buster, gets in, hits us. Well, Monument, if they have another Abrade, I'm gonna cry. I'm literally gonna cry. Monument, anything with a unique name, I don't think it really met, or a unique type. Probably want to leave the basic in case we draw a Stomper. Yeah, we'll take Seed Core that doesn't do much of anything. We got a Monument ready to go. Number 9 for Monument. Can we even attack here? Pretty easy to die if we attack, but I guess if we turn on the Monument, then we can sack lands to draw cards to see if we can hit removal. All right, so turn on the Monument. Unclear if we will attack with it, but we're definitely going to sack one of these spheres to see if we can hit something. Trying to figure out, well, I don't know what we need to leave up. Like, we can tap the blue probably. All right, sack the Hunter Maze. Come on, Wrath. Wrath would be really nice. Ooh, burn down the house. This gives us a shot. We might actually have this. So we can sweep the board, hit for 9 poison, and then we just cross our fingers and hope our opponent doesn't top deck. Get rid of the Kiki, get rid of the Goblin. Oh, all right, opponent's at 9 poison. Come on, deck, come on, deck. Oh no, Tignuma. Okay, their last card was a land, but it's a land that does things. Well, this still doesn't mean we're necessarily dead. They get Corpse Appraiser. So that lets them crew the Bank Buster if they want to, but that would only put us to 2. And then if we draw another Wrath, we could maybe win with Monument. Oh no, now we're dead. Yeah, that's Hasty Blade Scoil, and so close. Well, we got the Monument on. That's a good step. That's a good step in the right direction. Ouch. Against the odds time, we are trying to pull off the Monument of Perfection kill in Standard, and maybe this is the time. Is this the time for Monument to shine? All right, I mean, I guess this is fine. We got some lands and some ramp. Opponent. All right, so opponent's on mono black by the looks. Tenacious Underdog. Well, tap land, go. Gets in, hits us down to, ooh, missing land drops. Down to 17, but opponent missing land drops is bad. And Zeus's Many Journeys is actually really nice here. Zeus's Many Journeys, 2 lands this turn. Get down the lands. That gets us to expand the sphere next turn. Could get us to Atraxa. Ooh, Monument, that's even better. We would rather win with Monument. Like, Atraxa is to find Monument, not to win the game. Yeah, let's just expand the sphere. Do a little ramping. Hopefully hit some land types. Well, okay. No land types, but our mana's gonna be good. Double we have 3 triomes in the deck that those are the only lands that don't count towards Monument, but they're kind of necessary to make Leyline Binding and our removal work. So 5 land types. We're in pretty good shape here, opponent. I mean, our opponent missing land drops. pretty stark difference. Oh, Reckoner Bank Buster. Okay, that'll hit our opponent lands eventually. Ooh, burn down the house. Flip the Saga. So we got a blocker. Get down the Monument. Tutor up the land with the Monument. Yeah. I guess a Basilicus is fine. Run it out past the turret. So we got the Leyline Binding if we need it. I don't think we're just gonna hit the Bank Buster. We could to try to keep our opponent mana screwed, but probably better to save for a Sheoldred or something. I mean, I guess we have a lot of removal. We have a lot of removal in hand. Nice thing about Mono Black is I don't think they can kill the Monument. Black might be able to kill enchantments now, but they still do not have the ability to kill artifacts. So if we can just hit the land types, this should be a thing that actually sticks around. All right, so opponent does hit their land drop. Still a little bit behind us in mana. Oh, wow. Okay. Opponent's just gonna go aggro. Well, now we might actually Leyline Binding. We don't want to go to 10. We were gonna let our opponent draw cards, but if they're going to attack, I think that's actually the right play by our opponent. They know the Monument's gonna happen at some point, so they need to beat us before we have a 9/9 indestructible toxic 9. Opponent eats to expand the sphere. All right, Murex. That is another land for the land type. How do we do this? This mana base. We have learned that this deck is very bad with auto tapping. Well, that's Monument. I think we get a red source and then burn down the house. So that's land number 7. Burn down the house. I'm tempted to make devils, actually. Like, sweeping is good, but if we make devils, like, all we're trying to do is stall out until we get the monument. Maybe our opponent will block and we get to untap our lands. Opponent goes to 17. Burn down the house. Oh, yeah, let's devil it. Like, this is pretty good. We can block, we can kill the Tenacious Underdog, and we're 2 turns away from Monument. Opponent gets and hits us. Sure. Nothing good to exile. Well, block and also block. Opponent did get land number 4. So they're getting close to, like, Shieldrids and whatnot. We're still at 14, though, so it's not like we just lose to a Shieldrid or a Invoke Despair. Ping the Tenacious Underdog, ping your face. I mean, I guess we can run out of Troxa at some point, although I kind of want to see if Monument can win without it. All right, opponent has Shielder, that's fine. We have go for the throw. Draw Forest, that doesn't help. Monument. Dross Pits. We get the Monument next turn, and we got the Mycosynth Gardens to copy it if we need to. What do you got? Yep. Takes down the Saga, gets in. Black does have Edicts potentially, so I think if we can, we want to keep this Devil around. Chump blocking is tempting, but we don't want a Monument and then lose it to Liliana. That would be very sad. Opponent Graveyard, Trespasser, sure. We gotta wait on the gardens because we need it to be a land at this point. So we have, okay, land type number 9, Monuments on. Go for it. Yeah, turn on the Monument, go to combat. Indestructible, Toxic 9. Opponent's gonna block, okay. Opponent. Let's play a Zeus's Many Journeys. Play the Forest. Pass the turn. Come on, no Shieldred's Edict. Even through the Devil token. I think we have the Mirrex, right? So we can make a token if we need to. So we could block. I think, yeah, we'll just take it. Down to 7. Okay, wow, so many Trespassers. Trespasser part 3, sure. Hits us to 6. Well, okay. Gardens. Copy the Monument. No removal, please. No Shieldred's Edict. Removal is fine. Shieldred Edict not. Okay, Monument number 2. We are a land type, we are a land type short. That's actually a sweet draw. So we can just Wrath and hit for 9. 9 Toxic, more importantly. Okay, so let's grab a land. Land type number 9, again. Get a Plains. Play the Plains. Depopulate. Monument Perfection, Indestructible. Matters here. Sweep it, ping ya. Hilariously, this is gonna kill our opponent just as fast with normal damage as toxic damage. Opponent's at 6 and 9. We're killing our opponent twice. And now we have a second Monument, so our opponent needs something pretty good here. Like, they need something pretty good to get out of this. I don't know if they... Yeah, opponent scooped it up. Okay, that was a Monument win. That was a Monument win. The double win, toxic or slash poison and normal damage. Let's bring in a little bit more removal. Blue Sun's Twilight seems good. Bank Buster seems good. And then just do a bit of trimming of the ramp, I guess. Yeah, we can probably go down to Atraxa. We don't really want to win with Atraxa. I think Atraxa's, it's necessary. Like, to make Monument work, we got to play all the colors of lands, just because we need 9 different types. So we're playing all 5 colors. It's hard to pass up the refueling power of Atraxa. Even though we don't really want to win with it, like, using it to draw a Monument and whatnot's pretty powerful. On a game 2, we got a game win with Monument. Can we get a match win with Monument of Perfection in Standard? Is it actually possible? All right, 2 green sources, but we have Monument and Bank Buster, which is pretty good. Land, go. Opponent, Schwamp, and passes. Well, yeah, I think Monument's better. If we play Monument here, we can play Facade next turn and start tutoring up lands. All right, opponent's got a Bank Buster. That's, expand the sphere too. Okay, that's really good. So now we get to get an untap land and then expand the sphere next turn. Opponent. Opponent's so good at drawing Graveyard Trespassers. It's their superpower. Not the best superpower at the moment, but it is It is impressive how many Graveyard Trespassers they've drawn. Get in there, opponent. You're the aggro. Cruise it up. Hits us down to 16. Sure. Swamp. I mean, we can take another hit. Let's just expand the sphere. Well, yeah, might as well get the Demir's Gardens. We already got a forest, so it's not counting towards Monument anyway. I mean, this isn't bad. And then next turn, we can potentially Titania's Command, make some chump blockers, get up to 7 lands. Unfortunately, we've run all these Hunter's Mages, which is kind of awkward. They're not counting towards Monument. Yes, it's a Graveyard Trespasser. The superpower is intact. Opponent hits us for 7. So, ooh, Blue Sun's Twilight. I mean, Titania's Command's probably fine, right? That'll keep us. We can also, like, tutor up a land. Let's grab a land. Let's leave up a removal here. I think if we do this right, we get a land, we can leave up 2 removal spells. And this also gets us a blue source to work towards the Blue Sun's Twilight. So kill a Graveyard Trespasser. Discard one of our many Hunter Mazes. Yeah, let's pass. I mean, we're kind of hoping... Ooh, Gix. All right. Opponent's probably going to get to draw a card here, unfortunately. Hit the Bank Buster? Get rid of the Bank Buster. Drop to 6. Oh, this is going to be close. We're getting to the, like, stage of the game where Sheoldred and Invoke Despair. Very scary. Ooh, all right, opponent. Glad they didn't eat a Trespasser and drain us. Down to 19. Or we're down to 6. Opponent's down to 19. Probably Titania's Command time. This does get us to Monument. Oh, hopefully next turn. Not even necessarily next turn. Get lands, get bears. Definitely need blue mana. I guess just Mycosynth Gardens is fine. It is good with Monument. Play the forest. Bank Buster is actually not the worst here because it potentially lets us have another blocker if our opponent tries to kill the bears. No removal, please. We are right on the edge. We're either right on the edge of dying or taking over the game with Monument. One or the other. Like, something's about to happen. Can we get a Graveyard Trespasser? We've only seen 2 this game. You're slacking. We need a Trespasser Tron. Phyrexian Flesh Gaja. Kind of would like to just draw the 9th land so we can have this Monument untapped. That would be helpful. We could try to block with Bank Buster. We could also just double chump. Yeah, chump, I think. Stay at 6. Oh, we can tutor up white, right? We can tutor up a plains. New plan. So we could have, like, tried to stabilize with the Blue Sun's Twilight. We're probably better off farewelling. The Blue Sun's Twilight plan's a little risky. Things could definitely go wrong. Farewell, much harder for things to go wrong. It's so fun to steal stuff with Blue Sun's Twilight, but it's so risky. I really... Yeah, we got to take the safe line, I think. Let's Monument of Perfection, get a plains. This will be land number 9. So we have Monument mana. Farewell. Get rid of the creatures. Well, this is our opponent's turn to do something. Invoke Despair would be not quite deadly, but close. Next turn we get the Monument. Hold. No invokes. Sheoldred. Well, we better draw now. It's a land. All right. Down to 4. Well, we get to steal the Sheoldred, which is good, and then hit for 9 poison with Monument. Blue Sun's Twilight's gonna be pretty sweet here. I think we still get the copy and just legend rule our opponent's copy. Does that even make sense? Does that matter? Not really. It's funny though. How do you pass up the chance to get 2 Sheoldreds? Legend rule, keep the token. Monument, here comes the poison counters. 9/9 indestructible, hit ya. Poison up to 9. Life total down to 10. Play the tap land past the turn. Okay, kills the Sheoldred. We will crew just to be safe. That's actually good for us. That means there's no Invoke Despair this turn. And Monument win. Opponent, Archfiend of the Dross. Sure. Oh, wow, it's game right now. Depopulate, blow it up. Monument lives indestructible, and that is the Monument of Perfection. Okay, it's possible. It is possible. That was a pretty sweet one, actually. Sweet, 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 sweet. Whew, that was good. That was real good. Against the odds time, we are playing some Monument of Perfection in Standard, and 2 black sources, 5 color deck, snap, keep. I mean, we got the Monument, and Monument will fix our mana and hopefully get us to Cartographer Survey, and then from there, who knows? All right, Monument of Perfection. Opponent is Jano and the Bankbuster. Sure. Yeah, I think we just tutor up a land for ramping. Fable of a Mirror Breaker. Well, Monument. We kind of need a green source, don't we? Yeah, I guess we... Awkwardly, we got to get a forest, which is the land we're most likely to draw, but... I mean, we could have not taken it and hoped that Survey gets there, but you never know. Oh my god, okay. Well, I guess we would have hit a forest after all. That's fine. Double ramp. Plains and forest. Opponent gets to do Fable the Mirror Breaker stuff. Having Farewell in hand is nice. That means if things get too out of hand, we have an answer. Opponent's probably some sort of a Troxa deck, I would assume. Main phase Bankbuster draw. Is that the old discard 2 lands to Fable the Mirror Breaker, not have a land, have to main phase draw? Oh, I've done that before. It is the worst feeling. Opponent gets in, makes a treasure, sure. Ooh. We can Stomper in Monument. We could also Monument first and then Survey. I guess having a 4/4 to make this goblin think twice is kind of good. It's less ramping though. Let's let our opponent attack one more time with the goblin. I think we want to just try to get to Monument as quickly as possible. Basic island. Play the island. Cartographer Survey. So many forests. All right, Seed Core, forest, 7 land types. Stomper's 8. Monument's 9. We could have a tap Monument next turn. Opponent gets in, hits us. Passes. Yeah, let's run out the Stomper. Mountain. And then Monument. Oh, come on, no removal. This is land number 9 with a different name that is a sphere of basic. We've achieved the Monument. We've achieved perfection. All right, play the tap land. Pass the turn. Opponent draws with Bankbuster, sure. Probably should have left up Gardens, actually, just in case we get a copy of the Monument. All right, let's see what our opponent does. Many cards in hand, that's for sure. Wow, main phase cycles. Xander's Lounge cycle. Opponent gets a new card. What are they? They must be looking for a Monument answer. Passes. Oh, do we actually get a Monument? Oh, Leyline Binding. Okay. Well, that might be okay. If our opponent doesn't have a counter, we can just Farewell to get it back. Get in with a Stomper. Opponent. All right, gonna copy the Goblin. Sure. I mean, we don't really care about any of this. Opponent blocks. The only question, does the Farewell resolve? If the Farewell resolves, life is gonna be good. Our mana's so all over the place. All right, Farewell. Exile all creatures, artifacts, enchantments, graveyards, get them all. Cool. All right, drawing with, okay, that's good, that's fine. Opponent draws with Bankbuster, but we get Farewell. Well, in theory. Opponent's gonna sack their treasures. Sure. Okay, we get back to Monument. Farewell does do its thing. Zeus's Many Journeys. Snag a land. Opponent. Opponent. Will you stop, please? All right, Monument. Guess we start taking card draw lands? I think our colors are pretty fine at this point. I guess Mirrex could be relevant. Yeah, let's just take a Furnace. We do have an extra land drop because of Zeus's Many Journeys, so get it in, pass the turn. Well, our opponent really does not want to die to Monument of Perfection. Let us perfect you, opponent. It won't hurt a bit, I promise. Just want to complete you. Opponent, Atraxa. Now we have reached the Atraxa Wars stage of the game. Opponent. Well, at this point, unless we draw something, I guess we kind of just have to Atraxa back. All right, does some discarding. Well, we will gain some life. We will play an Atraxa. And we will add some cards to hand. Well, we did hit a monument. Get a monument. Get another Atraxa. Azusa's Many Journeys. Unleash the Inferno. Surgical Bay? I don't know if the land matters too much. Do we need an untap land? Yeah, take Surgical Bay and depopulate. All right. I mean, we can't just kill our opponent's Atraxa. We could also, like, Azusa's Many Journeys and play lands, but then we get hit by Atraxa. We probably just gotta kill it. We would like to do cool things, but we know our opponent can kill our Atraxa, and if they can untap and, like, defend their Atraxa with counters, we're gonna be in serious trouble. Yeah, we just gotta do it, unfortunately. Kill the Atraxa, play the land, discard Azusa's Many Journeys. And your go, opponent. Hopefully they don't Blue Sun Zenith our Atraxa. All right, Unleash the Inferno. That is better than our opponent stealing and copying it. Plays a land, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Monument time again. Flip the Saga. Let's see if this monument actually works. We got to be careful of the Blue Sun's Twilight. We don't want to get our monument stolen, but we can probably do it end step, right? How do we do this? Run out the monument. Leave up the gardens this time. We probably should have been leaving that up all along. Overtap. Classic overtapping. And then, yeah, let's just do this right now. We have more than enough land, so let's copy the monument. Yeah, we have enough mana, I think. Azusa's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can play Azusa's Many Journeys. Play another land, play another land. Pass the turn. Oh, all right, no answers, please. No answers. Opponent gets to do some looting to try to find an answer. I mean, double monument is a one-shot. That is 18 infect if we can get through with it, or 18 poison. We just got to make sure that we're going for it the turn we activate them, so we don't give our opponent a chance to steal them with Blue Sun's Twilight. Bankbuster. Here we go. Monument. We got a plan. Monument, monument, Wrath. GG. Is this the double monument win? Okay. Monument. Into monument. Turn them both on. Wow, another monument. Triple monument. White. White. Whatever. Seed core. Depopulate. Just to get rid of the blockers. Is that game? Opponent gonna draw a card. Desperation mode. Is this monument? Double monument win? Oh, and opponent scoops it. It worked. Double monument. Double monument. Wow. Okay, that's what we've been trying to do. That's what we've been trying to do. Really sweet. Okay. Apparently you just need 2 monuments to win. That's a secret. You just need 2 of them. Well, we'll bring in some counters for big stuff. What else do we want or not want? Trim Titania's command. Leyline Binding seems like it'll die a lot. You really don't want to be exiling Atraxas to Leyline Bindings. Just so risky. Yeah, trim some ramp, bring in some Reckoner Bankbusters. And yeah, it's gonna be hard to top. The double Monument of Perfection win. Something like that seems fine. Do a little trim in, bring in some card draw, some counters. Opponent's deck is basically all about Atraxa, so keeping Atraxa from resolving is huge. Without Atraxa to like draw whatever, a million, deck does a little bit worse. It seems very similar to the Atraxa deck we played on stream a couple of weeks ago. So I think it's very similar to that build, and the deck was really strong, but it is pretty much all in on Atraxa. Like if you stone-brained Atraxa or something, there's just no winning. On to game number 2. Atraxa versus Monument of Perfection. We are on the draw. We like Mycosynth Gardens, but not enough to keep the one lander. All right, this is fine. Yeah, we'll just put Blue Suns to the bottom. Well, we got a Bankbuster and we got some ramp. Yeah, play the Hunter's Maze. There's some chance we want to cycle Spar's Headquarters. Opponent, more Trioming. Well, land and Reckoner Bankbuster. Goo. Opponent, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, let's just Azusa's Many Journeys. Play a land, can draw with Bankbuster. So opponent's gonna get a treasure, but this is setting up nicely for the future. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 18. Nimble Arsonist, that's fine. Well, that is a whiff. I mean, it is a flyer, I guess, but no non-creatures in hands or artifacts. Opponent. Well, okay. Bankbuster draw. Could use a monument at some point. Okay, how about this point? We will accept the immediate monument. We still need a few more land types, though. Play the forest. Stomper. Stomper is kind of nice here. It lets us crew the Bankbuster if we want to. Grab an island. Yeah, I guess we just pass. Opponent. Flip the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. All right, another land. Ooh, if they make a treasure, they could Atraxa. Yeah, well, I guess we let it go for now. I mean, they're gonna get to the Atraxa eventually, so being able to kill the Atraxa is probably more important than slowing it down by a turn. Or are they? Okay, well, they're just gonna get in with the Larcenist, so they probably don't have Atraxa in hand, or I assume they would have went for it. Well, draw with Bankbuster. Double Monument. Starting to look, ooh, and of Gardens too. Starting to look a little bit like last game where we're gonna have a lot of monuments. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Huh, we still need, so this is land 7. We still need a couple more lands. Yeah, let's play Spara's Headquarters. Go to combat. We also gotta be aware of Reflections of Kiki-Jiki copying the Larcenist. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Opponent takes it down to 16. I mean, I think we just got to try to kill Reflections here. Go for the throw. Pass the turn. So we get to ultimate the Bankbuster. All right. Ooh, all right. Opponent has learned from last game that Monument actually a scary card if we can turn it on. Somehow we're still at 17. Feels like we've taken a few attacks, but oh, I guess the Zeus's many journeys gained us some life. Are we getting Atraxa yet? You can see the deck, like, without an Atraxa, it's fine, I guess, but it's not nearly as scary. Draw with Bankbuster. It's a forest. Ooh, Disdainful Stroke is real good here. Well, that makes sure we're not going to get killed by Atraxa. Wow, we actually just have a lot of damage, don't we? We might just be beating our opponent down before we even get to the monument. Do some attacking. I guess maybe it's worth running out the monument first. It doesn't really change much, but I guess the upside is if our opponent blocks the likeness, then we get to untap the lands. Opponent blocks and blocks. I mean, I think we should be good. We do need more land types though. That's the biggest issue. We have monument, we just don't have enough lands. Leyline Binding. Sure. Opponent is really scared of monument. Okay, well, we will make a copy of monument. The funny thing is we're not super close to turning it on. It's gonna be a couple more turns and they're kind of dying to our other stuff, but Michael Sands Gardens and opponent. Too many monuments. They have been perfected and scoops it up. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So what did we learn this week about Monument to Perfection in Standard? And overall, it was a pretty janky one. We played 9 matches with the deck. We won 3 of them, so 33% match win percentage. So not overly competitive. The good news is we did get some really sweet Monument of Perfections wins. We had a double, triple Monument of Perfection win. We got to see it toxicking opponents out of the game. We got to see opponents scooping to the inevitability of the artifact. So we did get to see it work. In our plan of ramping into it, it was relatively successful. We also got to see the downside of Monument to Perfection, which is it isn't inevitable. Like, it's kind of like standard Blightsteel, but it's just so much power down compared to Blightsteel. It takes 2 attacks to win. Well, first it takes forever to turn on, and then it takes 2 attacks to win, and it doesn't have any evasion, and maybe the biggest problem, there's still answers for it. We saw like white decks, Leyline Binding, getting rid of our monument. We saw the Wandering Emperor coming down to exile our monument. Black decks have access to Liliana's and Sheoldred's Edict. So there's actually a lot of answers. When you hear Indestructible, you think, okay, this is gonna live, but Not necessarily. Like, Wizards printed that whole cycle of like mythic Panharmonicons that become indestructible. Phyrexian will be one. So they also made sure that there's a lot of answers to indestructible creatures. So maybe that is the biggest disappointment. I honestly feel like Wizards maybe powered down Monument a little bit too much. Here's what I guess happened. My guess is Wizards was a little worried because the last similar card that we had, like Monument to Perfection, that cares about a bunch of lands with different names, was Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead was way too broken and like getting banned everywhere and not a fun card. So I feel like Wizards, because Field of the Dead was so overpowered, they put a lot of safety valves on Monument to Perfection, needing specifically spheres and basics makes you play a kind of janky mana base. And then even if you turn it on, it's not inevitable. It doesn't win in one attack. You still need multiple attacks with it, and it still dies to a decent amount of removal. So I kind of feel like Wizards maybe played it a little bit too safe with this card and could have pushed it a little bit more without breaking anything. But still, I mean, we got to see some really cool Monument to Perfection wins. So I don't know. The deck is sweet. The card is sweet. We did cool things, but we didn't win all that often with it. So anyway, that is Monument to Perfection. That's Better Against Odds for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.